Hey Scrap Bosses, I'm back with another process video. This layout is called Good Company, and it's all about me and taking time out for myself. On this particular day, you'll see the photos come back here in just a second. I treated myself to breakfast, and I do that every now and then just to have a little time to myself. So, in keeping with sort of the vein of using a little bit of new and a little bit of old, I've got a bunch of materials from my stash. As you can see, letter stickers and die cuts and rub-ons. I also have this kit here, this paper pack. And in a second, I'm going to remember what this paper pack is called. But those are two of the 12 by 12 sticker sheets that came with the pack, as well as some papers I've already cut into this and have used it on a variety of layouts so far. This is called Just Be You. And I love the colors and I like all of the embellishments, the sticker embellishments that come with it. It's just really, really fun. And it has a lot of navy blue tones to it, which is really great. I'm really into navy blue lately, both in my scrapbooking as well as in home decor. I also reached in my stash for some flair as well as some wood veneers. I have two little clips that are a fork and knife, and sadly those do not make it on the layout. I usually like to put elements like that when I'm scrapbooking about food because I love food. So here are my photos printed at 4 by 6. I also trimmed down the photo, that black and white selfie. I printed that in black and white because I wanted that to be really striking on my layout. So as I mentioned, every now and then I like to treat myself to breakfast, and I don't get a lot of time to myself, but I do try to make that time unapologetically so that I can sort of decompress and do something just for me. So I went to a local cafe and had some bacon, eggs, and pancakes and some coffee. I listened to some podcasts and just relaxed and took that time to myself. Now, I am going to reference the Scrapbook page maps. This has been out for quite a while. It's by Becky Flick, and it's one of my favorite scrapbooking reference guides. I'm going to use this sketch here as the foundation for my layout. I often will refer to my creative references when either I'm stuck on creative ideas or I just want to make something simple and I want somebody else to do that design work for me. So I'm going to take this beautiful pattern paper from the kit, trim that down to 6 by 12. I'm also going to grab this strip of pattern paper, sort of a geometric design, and I'm going to put that there as a border next to that large strip of, not large strip, but that's 6 by 12 piece of pattern paper that I laid over some 12 by 12 textured cardstock. I'm also going to grab another strip of pattern paper from the kit just to layer that on. Now here's my photo, and I'm creating an anchor for that using a yellow strip of pattern paper that I cut a little fishtail out of. I get that positioned and get the photo positioned as well. And I'm going to bring in two 4 by 6 photos. One is a picture of my breakfast that morning, and one is another selfie of me eating the breakfast. I'm going to add another strip there just so that it is provides a little bit of continuity between that smaller photo, which is 4 by 4. I just trimmed that down. I printed it as a 4 by 6 photo, and then I just trimmed it down by hand to 4 by 4. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and add some white borders around my photos and get those all trimmed up and then positioned, of course, on the layout. Here's that 4 by 6, the 4 by 4 photo that I trimmed down by hand. I have some little photo guides by Simple Stories, very inexpensive. You get a pack, I think there's like four or five of the photo guides in different sizes. So I put the photo guide on top of my photo and then trim it out. It's a great way to trim and crop your photos without actually having to use any type of fancy software or anything like that. Next up, I add some fun foam to the back of that photo, as well as some adhesive strips, because I want to make sure that that piece stays on the layout. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that right there on top of that yellow piece of pattern paper. Now it's time to work on the title. I have a couple of choices here, or actually 3 choices. One's from We Are Memory Keepers, the other one's Felicity Jane, and the other one is a Thickers. So I'm going to start with this Thickers font, and I'm going to spell the word company. I love, love, love this font. I hoard it, and I'm just now getting around to using it up. And you know what? If I find another pack, I'll probably buy another one because I love it so much. And I'm going to take this font from We Are Memory Keepers. This is a chipboard font. Really fun color in yellow to spell out the word good. So the title's going to read Good Company. Now, I'm going to go to the sticker sheet. There are 2 that come in this pack. So I'm just going to shop around a few things to see what works. So I was going to use this camera, then I abandoned that. I'm going to pull out this little banner here. I've been liking banners on my layouts lately. Normally it would just stay on my sticker sheet unused, but I decided to go ahead and give it a shot. I have this arrow that says today. I'm going to position that on the bottom photo there. I'm pretty much sticking to the sketch that I showed you earlier with some minor changes. I'm going to go ahead and add that circle sticker that has a little heart printed on the top. Love that navy blue. To that, I'm going to add a little camera. This camera is smaller than the previous one that I was shopping around the layout, so I think it'll work. I'm going to add a bit of foam adhesive to that just so that'll pop up since that photo is already popped up on some fun foam. I'm going to adhere that down next to the photo. The next thing I'm going to do is add a little air balloon there at the top. This has nothing to do with air balloons, but every now and then I pop on icons that have absolutely nothing to do with my layout, mainly because I just like them. Like that bird there. This layout ain't about birds, but I'm going to pop a bird on there anyway because it's pretty cute. So that's going to get a little bit of foam adhesive just to grab, or just to add some dimension to the layout, and I'm going to put him right there on top of the air balloon. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't have to. I just like using it. Now, cactuses are pretty popular in scrapbooking icons lately, so I decided I'm just going to pop that on my layout. Do I like cactuses? Absolutely. Is this layout about it? Nope, but I'm just going to put it on there anyway because it's really cute. Now I'm going to add some enamel dots from Hip Kit Club, and I'm trying to decide what color I want to use. I thought I was going to use that yellow one, and I'm going to go with something a little bit smaller and pop that little blue one right in the center of that camera just to add a bit of dimension. I'm going to pour out all of these little pieces here, these little ephemera. I have a tab that says captured, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to position that. So I moved that little cactus die cut, and now I'm going to add the tab, add a little bit of Tombow Mono to the back of that tab, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to the photo. And for some reason, my tabs never stay adhered. So after I put this to the left-hand side of the photo using that Tombow Mono adhesive, I'm going to grab my tiny attacher, and I'm going to add a staple there to both sides. Now what that does is it secures my tab to my photo so it doesn't come off, and also it adds a little bit of texture with the staple element. I'm going to grab some flair. I haven't used flair on the layout in quite a while. This one says AM because of course I took myself to breakfast in the morning time. I thought just a little bit of adhesive strips would go ahead and hold that on the layout, but it didn't, so I added a foam square to that and popped that on the bottom of that layout, of the photo rather. Now I'm looking at some wood veneer hearts, and I've had these wood veneer hearts in my stash for a very long time. I have a lot of wood veneer pieces, and so my goal is to get them used up. There goes that little cactus again, making an appearance. He's going to go on the layout. Now I'm going to go ahead and adhere down all of the wood veneer pieces. One of them will go at the top with the air balloon, and then one to the side there by the black and white photo, and then one to the bottom photo. Just add a bit of texture. Here comes some more enamel dots, which I love. I think I use enamel dots on pretty much all of my layouts because it's been one element that just consistently shows up. I just love it. I love enamel dots and I have tons of them. I'm never short enamel dots, that's for sure. So here are the journaling strips, and all I did, very simple, typed this up in my word processor, printed it out, and I'm trimming these strips down using my Tonic guillotine trimmer. I'm going to position that right underneath the photo. And the journaling says, this morning I took a little time to treat myself to breakfast at Beacon Cafe on Beach. While I love dining out with my family and friends, there are times when I just prefer my own company. I reserve this time to enjoy a good meal, a cup of hot coffee, and to be with my own thoughts. I like to people watch and catch up on scrapbook process videos and Disney vlogs on YouTube. Sometimes I take a book or a craft magazine to read, or I pop my earbuds in and listen to one of my favorite podcasts. This time to myself is essential and important, and is always needed to recharge my batteries and to remind myself that above all else, I'm a person, not just a mom, wife, and daughter. I take this time unapologetically and without reservation because I deserve it. And we all do. We all deserve to take that time out for ourselves. Here's some photos of the layout. If you want to see some stills, make sure you head on over to the Victoria Marie blog. And while you're there, make sure that you subscribe. And before you leave this video, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. I post videos here on this channel every week. And when you do subscribe, make sure you hit that bell indicator. That way you'll know each and every time a new video is posted on this YouTube channel. Also, this video is made possible by the Victoria Marie patrons. If you want to learn more about becoming a Victoria Marie patron, make sure you head on over to the Victoria Marie Patreon website. The link is posted down below. Now you go and be creative.